Hi, I'm Chris Woodside, and I'm here to talk about my survey course in American history for undergraduates, which I am calling Land Quests and Struggles, A History of America. I have come a long way in this course. When I wrote my preliminary syllabus, I did not really have any particular focus other than to think broadly as a social historian and to not forget the period before European conquest of North America. I've now come to realize through reading the Foner textbook, especially, even though I don't want to take that approach myself, but through reading that textbook, how powerful it is to tell students a story about the history of North America through a thematic approach. We can't tell them everything. It would take forever and they would fall asleep. So, what I have chosen is the relation that we have to the land, the environmental focus, but through the lens of economics. It is my belief that a very exciting course can be made when we talk about the material motivations of Americans and how throughout history they have pushed through adverse landscapes and climates trying to fulfill their goals. That covers so much um, in the American mindset. The quest for food, for trade, for money, thriving and surviving has been a clash of motivations and the land. My objectives in this course are to leave students with a basic understanding of key events in American history. This is an undergraduate course after all, and also to expose them to the excitement of primary source research, teach them how to read history and to think about it critically, and to write about it, of course. I thought long and hard about whether to include a textbook, an overview textbook, and I did decide that I wanted to do that. And what I chose, one kind of big textbook and then one more focused textbook. And then, of course, for each course, three other books and many other bits of readings and bibliography. But my main textbook that I chose was one that I see is used for some of the ASU undergraduate survey courses called Out of Many, The History of the American People. Um, the first half of that would be, volume one would be for my first part of the course, pre-contact to 1865, and then the second volume would be for 1865 to present. That textbook allows a lot of interaction with online resources, is my understanding, and I think that it would allow students to be working on their homework and thinking about their history class wherever they happen to be, in the coffee shop, online, whatever. Not necessarily have the book with them. I think that's key. I've also got some books by William Cronin. I have a book by William Cronin, Changes in the Land. I've got Charles Sellers' The Market Revolution. That's sort of the environmental side and the market side in my early survey. I'm not going to tell you about every single book because I won't have time to tell you about every single book right now, but I believe I can stick to my theme through uh, the growth of the early American Republic, the growth of farming, the expansion west, slavery, the Civil War, especially just a word about slavery. It was an outgrowth of the southern plantation agricultural economy needing free labor and the incredibly horrible outcome of that goal of getting free labor to keep that unsustainable farming market going is what really gave us slavery and its legacy. And so I will come at it from that angle, and that gets us into discussing the incredibly huge topic of slavery and race relations in America. I also think the debate about taxes and the size of government can be gotten at through my theme, manifest destiny, etc. In my second half of the course, I've got um, a book by Eric Foner called Forever Free, which looks like a really a great one to read. And I have also James Patterson's book called Grand Expectations, the United States, 1945 to 1974, and Donald Worster's book called Dust Bowl, the Southern Plains in the 1930s. Um, Agricultural history can really be told from the Dust Bowl outward. We learned so much about what not to do in overplanting and overplowing, and it also showed how incredibly struggle-filled farming is. My course will follow the environmental theme into the common the current day, the history of the environmental movement, climate change science, the suburban boom, the wars for oil, for our overuse of resources, Silent Spring, Rachel Carson, the forming of the Environmental Protection Agency, how prosperity and world trade all figure into our use of the land, and finally how terrorism and our place in the world has changed so much. I really think the survey would want to stop with the end of the Obama presidency because the Trump presidency really is the present, being covered by journalists who don't know the outcome yet. My assignment for students would be a paper that would have an online blog component to which they could post images, charts, and links to other data.